Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Honeycutt, Communication Specialist for BBB, and I'm excited to welcome you to our BBB Business Builders webinar featuring Wendy McCoy from Coastal Credit Union to talk about banking basics during COVID-19. Without further delay, I'll pass it off to Wendy to go ahead and get us started. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Catherine. Again, my name is Wendy McCoy, and I am with Coastal Credit Union, and I'm in our Community Engagement Department. And today I'm here to go over some information to help our members, as well as other folks with their financial institutions, just kind of understand and have resources available to handle banking issues and questions mobilely. So what I've done today is we're going to our coastal24.com, and we've got all kinds of links on the location here about banking, borrowing, planning, learning, online access, and open account. But I'm going to go to our COVID-19 update resource because that's got a lot of information within that page to show you some different options as far as digital tools and ways you can reach out and receive assistance. So it talks about, Coastal is an essential service, so we're working to provide service to our members, just a little bit different in today's environment than we were used to recently. So we're updating those as we get updates, to different programs and whatnot. But the online and mobile banking, we've got some tools within that link, the digital tools. It's available 24/7. Our telephone banking is available 24/7. Our call center is available 24/7. Our branches, that is one change. All branches are closed to lobby traffic, so you can't actually sit down with a banker, but you can drive up and use our vestibule tellers. They remain available, and with Coastal, our teller services are available 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that's 7 days a week. Our tellers are off-site locations, so you're conducting your transactions with them remotely, but that does give you that extended banking time, so to help you get in deposits and withdrawals, you can do that. Our headquarters has closed. Our St. Albans branch is not open to the public, but all of our other locations currently are. So within our digital tools, there are lots of resources if you're not taking advantage of, again, Coastal, but your financial institution should have similar resources on their online site. You can go to managing your accounts. And you can look at the resource we have as our digital banking overview. So it kind of shows you what type of information you're able to access remotely instead of having to go into a branch. So looking at your balances, paying your bills, depositing checks, if you need to transfer money to people, you can manage your debit card usage online and monitor your transactions, and that does include up to 14 months worth of Coastal. If you haven't registered for your online banking with Coastal, you can register on that link. And again, most financial institutions are going to have that information available to you. So if you haven't set up that, you can normally set that up with a few pieces of information for your account. We do have the mobile app for Coastal. That is a free app. It's available for your iPhone and Android. Again, you can watch the video and it'll show you some different tools within the online banking app. It allows you to check your balances, pay your bills, deposit checks, transfer money, and it's easy to do that. But if you need any help with that, you can watch our video and it'll help you step through that information. If you need to deposit or withdraw cash, we do have an ATM locations at all of our branches, and we have over 5,600 branches nationwide with shared branches. So with credit unions, you can use other credit unions, and you can locate that within our website as well. So if you're traveling and need to access a branch and there's not a Coastal near you, we have other options. There's also over 80,000 surcharge-free ATMs, and that's on our co-op network, as well as you can use State Employees Credit Union, cash points, and you can withdraw it at many retail stores like Target or some grocery stores. And we've got some over there to the right, we've got the Cash Points, Sheets, Allpoint, and Co-op networks. So if you're using ATMs at that location, you can use it without a charge. So if you haven't deposited a check via your mobile device, it is a great way to take advantage of technology and make things very simple for you. Again, if you haven't downloaded the app, you just download the app and you would sign in using your online banking credentials that you had set up. And it'll say on there to deposit a check, and it'll take you through that. You can use that. You can deposit up to 10 checks per week with a maximum of $5,000 per check. And that can vary from institution. As business owners, sometimes those larger checks may be a challenge. So if you're having technology challenges, it's only allowing a certain amount, I would encourage you to reach out to your financial institution, because sometimes they are able to provide you other solutions so that you're not having to make a trip to the bank or your financial institution to mobily deposit those larger checks. Paying your bills with bill pay. So if you have any electronic bill payments, you can send it via our online. You just set up the bill, usually sit down with your bill in front of the computer, provide that information, and then we will send it to them electronically. And if they don't receive it electronically, we'll send them a check. So you can pay the bills by automatic or manually each month. So you can set up a recurring, this bill's always due on this date for this amount, so that you don't have to think about it, or you can manually go in and choose what bill you want to pay and the amount to pay. Usually with that, you're able to elect for e-bills when that's available from the person that's billing to you. And those payments can be made to folks that, outside of a company. You can actually send payments to friends or family members that way as well, with their name, address, and the amount. So another thing you can do is set up payments and transfers. So you can set up alerts to notify you when a bill arrives, when it's been paid, and when the payment is due. It's a simple and convenient way to make payment on coastal loans. So if you have loans with coastal, you can set those transfers up. You can do electronic transfers for credit cards, and you can also move money to other financial institutions. And each one of these links has a little video. So if there's any questions, you can go into that, and it will guide you through that information. If you have questions, you can send a message to our online banking team, and they'll be glad to assist you with your questions. We've got a couple of options to call here. So we've got the numbers provided, and that will allow you to securely access your accounts, to check your balances, transfer funds, make payments, and anything you need to need assistance with. So I'm going to go back a page and look at some other resources that Coastal is offering. So of course, we're talking about, what we're doing as a financial institution to keep our members and employees safe, how we're implementing our social distance, and how we're providing uninterrupted access to Coastal accounts. But one of the things I do want to let you know about as well is that obviously with these issues and folks being out of work, Coastal, for their members, has an emergency member relief program. So it's our member assistance program. And that offers emergency relief loans and loan modifications. So if somebody's not able to make a payment due to a loss of income, then they're deferring payments, and that's up to 120 days with no late fees. So got a great team in place, and they are working through those requests to help our members in these trying financial times. And we've also, at this time, if someone has a certificate with us, we've waived certificate withdrawal fees so they can access that money if you need it. Plus, if you need to replace a lost or damaged debit or credit card, we've got some expedited service in place for that. So that member assistance program, if you're a member of Coastal, or say you've got a family member, maybe an employee that is a member of Coastal, and you know they've lost some income and they may need some assistance, they can go to that site, go to that link, and it talks about the different ways we're able to help. For example, someone can enroll in our Skip a Payment program. If they have loans that are not eligible, they may still be able to provide payment deferrals and modifications, and it directs you on how to do that. If you're unable to use the quicker channels, you can still fill out this disaster relief assistance application, as well as we've got some online banking app supports. There's an emergency relief button. So lots of different ways for Coastal members to access our member assistance representatives and get some assistance during these times. We are also a partner with Green Path Financial Wellness, and they have some programs as well. If you're not a Coastal member and you're having some challenges due to loss of income, then I would encourage you to look at your financial institution's website and see what they may be able to offer you as well, because they are trying to work with folks to help. The small business relief loans, those are something that Coastal is working to implement. We did not have the SBA program in place, so we're working to get that implemented. But if you have any questions, you can email our SBA Lines at coastal24.com. That will be something we're helping our existing members with business accounts once we get that information loaded up. So that's kind of a high overview, but I'm going to show you just a couple of other tools within it. You can look to see about any of our services here, but we do have some learning resources. And we'll go over, say you've got, when you go to learn, you've got our Financial Education Center. So you've got some different ways that you can go on to, look at different life stages and things that we can help you with, but there's some calculators and tools out there as well. So you can go to all kinds of different links on our website. You don't have to be a member to do that, but you can go look at our Financial Education Center, and there are lots of tools out there to learn about building your savings, banking basics, tools and tips, and lending as well. So just something as simple as a budgeting tool. If you haven't created a budget, and as we see during these trying times how important it is to have a budget in place, this is a great tool for you just to go in. And again, you don't have to have an account to do this. It steps you through it with questions. You input that information at the end, and that helps you to create a monthly budget for yourself. But also other kinds of, there are other ways that you can use that, building emergency savings, retirement information. All of these are available for you to look at and see, hey, am I doing a good job on my retirement? Am I planning for college? Whatever your financial situation is, we've got different tools out there. And again, you can use those modules and you don't have to be a member. And if someone has any questions for me directly, you can reach out to me at my email, Wendy McCoy, so WMCCOY @coastal24.com. I'll be glad to connect you and help you answer any questions that you may have about Coastal. And that's kind of the high overview of ways you can bank and some of the ways you can receive assistance during these challenging times.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. I just have a few questions from some of our listeners to go through. The first one says, are there any services banks are not performing at this time?
So obviously sitting, having somebody come into the branches, it's kind of, for us, that's something we're not doing. I'm not aware of anything we're just not doing it all right now. It's just how we're doing it. Our normal way of doing it has changed to, transition to online services and connecting that way.
Gotcha. Okay, great. The next question we have says, how is COVID-19 impacting the wait times for traditional banking needs such as deposits, withdrawals, that sort of thing?
It's not tremendously affecting it, but there are times where we do have, more folks are coming to transact, and they may actually have a question for our tellers because they're not able to access the branch. So that can sometimes make things a little trickier, but our branches are still open with the personal teller machines, the vestibules that our members were using previously. But things such as yesterday, I know when I logged into Coastal, we did not, I was able to log on, but I know because of the stimulus checks that everybody was pretty much crashing all the banking networks. So all financial institutions were having some trouble yesterday with getting people online just because the demand to get on there and everybody was checking for stimulus checks. And as well as there was more traffic because people, were going to their institutions to withdraw that money or see if it was there at the ATM or through the drive-through or at the teller machines.
Awesome, great. And kind of a follow-up question to that along the lines of tellers, we have a question about, I'm conducting most of my banking needs online through mobile banking, but if I need to go to my bank to withdraw cash, like you mentioned with the stimulus, am I still allowed to do that? Or, if I have to go physically to my bank, are there tellers still there, or will it just be an ATM?
So with Coastal, ours are personal teller machines. So all of our tellers work at off-site. So they're available just as they had been prior to, because they're not actually touching and handling the money or in person. So it hasn't really affected Coastal, but most financial institutions have closed the doors. So you have to use their drive-through services, which are normally, there are tellers that are available to help you with those. You just can't physically go into the branch. And each bank may, be different. Some may do appointments. So again, if it's a need outside of maybe it's a borrowing need or something, then they can reach out to their financial institution and see what type of activity they're allowing.
Okay, great. Another question we have says, will the direct deposit of my payroll be delayed or affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
No, nothing should be. As long as it's sent from the employer, the financial institutions are going to post it as they would have previously.
Okay, great. Another question we have says, will there be enough cash during a pandemic or other natural disasters? In light of COVID-19, do I need to keep large amounts of cash in my possession to protect myself in case there's a shortage?
So normally I would say no, but sometimes when people do feel like, just like, that there's not going to be enough toilet paper or, these supplies, then that puts a higher demand. Normally they are keeping on hand what average transactions, to keep things running and are averaged out, like look at what did we do this time last year or how were we impacted. So financial institutions will order money based on that. So if you're wanting to withdraw, if that makes you feel more comfortable, then you can, but you may need to let them know, I'm gonna, do you guys have this on hand? It's not that they won't have it on hand, it's just when they order that money, they may not have allowed for higher request. So they have to wait till the next shipment comes in. So I would again reach out to my financial institution, but I wouldn't think that there shouldn't be any shortage of cash. It just might be that, okay, we're a little low this week because we are having more demand, but we'll have more next.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for that. Another question we have says, if my bank is temporarily reduced branch access or is not open, is my money still insured?
Absolutely, yes. So, yeah, the insurance is still in place through the FDIC.
Okay, great.
And questions, you can actually go to the FDIC's website to see, what is insured, how does ownership affect that, to see how much insurance, if that's a question.
Okay, great. Another one we have says, are banks allowed to accept Treasury or Internal Revenue Service checks via mobile deposit?
Yes, there may be dollar limits, again, with your financial institution, but it should be acceptable to deposit that. Exceptions could be if I made a mobile deposit into my account and it was solely in my name and I deposited a joint check, then that could run into an issue. Or if I deposited it at an ATM and the names on the account were different than the names on the check. So you just want to make sure that if you're depositing a check into an account, that the ownership matches the way the check is written, that it matches the ownership on the account.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Another question we have says, what resources are you aware of that banks are pushing out directly related to COVID-19, such as limiting overdraft fees or ATM charges, etc.?
Yes, so that's a great question. And I'm not sure what what everybody's doing. I do know that Coastal, and I know I saw it. I'm going to try and see if I can find it again, but we are limiting, overdraft fees for our members. And I may have seen it in an email, so I apologize. Is that something I can maybe give you a better answer to with a follow-up on that one? But I know we've limited it, so I want to give you what that looks like.
Yeah, sure, that works. We can send it out when we send out the recording to everyone. We can include that information. So that works. Another question we have says, what is the best way to contact my bank? Phone, email, since I can't just go in person?
I would say, it just depends on your relationship. So if you have a banker that you normally work with, and you have their contact number, then I would call them. Somebody that you might be comfortable with. You can certainly, it just depends on what you're comfortable with. Some people like using the online access in the chat and the email. They're going to respond to it in order as they receive, calls, and, depending on the day, it could vary, but I would just say whatever you're comfortable with and how you're comfortable communicating. But if I had a contact that I normally do business with, then I usually see that person, I would, try to email or reach out to them via phone to get some assistance or guidance.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Another question we have says, where should I go to find out if my bank offers PPP? So big topic right now.
They should have it on their website, most of them that offer that. So, and one of the things too that the SBA website has links to, I guess, lenders, but normally you're going to have some type of your business banking relationship with them to have them assist you or to have them look at that, just due to the volume of applications that are being received from the financial institutions from business customers. But a lot of them, it depends on the institution. Some of them have set up websites on their website that'll have links that you may fill the application out that way. If it's a smaller institution, they may have you fill out a paper application. So I would say go to their website, see if you can find that information there, and then go from there on whatever their policy is. Because some of the banks are not, you can't have someone talk directly to you. It's going to be via the online application. And like I said, Coastal, for its members, for business customers, we're still working on that process, and it should come out. So our process may look a little different than in other institutions.
Okay, great. Understandable. Another question that we have says, I need to withdraw money from my certificate of deposit to help pay for unexpected expenses as a result of COVID-19. Will my bank let me withdraw money without penalty?
So Coastal is waiving the penalty, and probably a lot of other financial institutions are. Again, just reach out to your financial institution to see what their policy is. But if you are a Coastal member and you have a certificate, then that is one of the things that we are doing. We are waiving the penalty so you can have access to those funds.
Okay, great. Wonderful. And our last question that we have says, I've relocated due to COVID-19. Will local banks cash my checks if I'm not a customer of that bank?
Normally, you are not able to cash checks with a bank unless you are, a customer there with a relationship. So you can look to see if the check is drawn off of another bank. So if that check is drawn off of a bank that is in that area, then you could take it to that bank, and they should be able to assist you with the right ID, even if you're not an account holder. So if you've got that bank convenient to you, otherwise you may just want to manually deposit it and wait till it posts to withdraw those funds.
Okay, great. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much again, Wendy. We have gone through all the questions, and so I thank you for your time and for your insight in helping us navigate our banking needs during COVID-19. And thank you to all those who are listening and those listening to the recording. Just a few reminders that we've sent out all the webinar recordings, but for additional information or to register for upcoming webinars, please visit bbbevents.org. Additionally, we've created a resource page to help accredited businesses share their information with consumers so they can support the local economy throughout this time. To learn more about that, please visit bbbshoplocal.org. And finally, I want to mention the recent launch of our Brunch with BBB podcast, which you can search for wherever you get your podcasts to listen to past episodes and be on the lookout for upcoming episodes. Wendy, thank you again so much for joining us. It's been great to hear from you.
Thank you for letting us join, and hopefully the information we provided today will be of some value.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to next time.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.